What's up, everybody? Kristin Gutierrez, and I am so excited to have my new friend here, Jess Abdulnour. Abdulnour. She's going to kill me. Yeah, and she's so fascinating because I heard her speak at a Long Beach broker preview weekly meeting, and she's a branding queen, basically. She owns her own agency. She's been doing it for 15 years, way before Facebook campaigns and ads and marketing and all that thing really was around. And she has some incredible experience that she's going to walk us through. And I'm going to ask her hopefully some really great questions because you all know I just love all things sales and marketing. All right, Jess, what's up? Fill in the blanks. Tell us more about why you decided to start your business.
Yeah, well, I never had an intention of actually opening an agency. Started my career in advertising mostly because of two. Number one, my dad owns a small jewelry store. My family has had it for over 35 years. So, I spent when my parents brought me home from the hospital, they didn't bring me to the house, they brought me to the store. So business has always been in my blood. Um, and so I used to help my dad with helping at the store, cleaning the counters. And as I got older, when Facebook first started, I started helping him with Facebook and marketing, and I completely fell in love with it, which was about the same time that Mad Men came out. And I was obsessed with being like Don Draper, and I would order whiskeys that I couldn't drink. I just really wanted to live that lifestyle so bad. But that kind of started my journey. I started in the agency world. I was doing campaigns for companies like Bosch, Boost Mobile, and Blizzard. Then I transitioned in-house to doing beauty. And then from there, I decided, you know what? I really hate telling women that they need to buy makeup to feel beautiful. Let me go into something less complicated like mortgage and legal and real estate marketing. And from there, I just realized that these are the industries that are so underserved. At this point in time, especially post pandemic, with all the regulatory changes that have happened, just how the algorithm and AI have changed how you can get listings, how to be found, how to build relationships. It made me realize that this is a market that needs somebody like me who really understands how to be creative, how to engage people so you actually build a relationship with your audience, but fully understands how complicated the industry is, how to make sure that you're still compliant and staying within regulations and not harming your brand while you're trying to build it.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, this is super exciting. So, oh my gosh, they brought you home from the hospital to the jewelry store. That is so fun. And then you just kind of grew up around business, and then here you are owning your own business. And did I get that right? It's been about 15 years.
Yeah, so I've been in agency world, or I've been in advertising for 15 years, and then our agency has been up and operational for 3 years.
Oh, congrats. My
Thanks. Yeah,
business, I have a coaching and consulting business alongside being a realtor, and my business has been up for 3.5 years. So 2023 that was the magical year, huh?
yeah, I think it's just there was something about 2023. We're all getting out of the pandemic and just you know what? I want to do something different. I want to help the world out. So it's funny how many business owners I know that 2023 was kind of like their Phoenix Rising year.
Yeah. No, for real. Cause a lot of my clients also started in 2023. All right. So then did you always just go in from real estate? Do you only help the real estate industry, or is that one niche of what you do?
It's definitely a niche that we do. We specialize in either professional services or complicated industries. So I like to tell people that if it's really boring or you need a lawyer to review your contracts, then you probably would want to work with us. And that can cover the scope of anything between real estate, mortgage, and finance, all the way to energy, insurance, and technical services.
Oh, I'm a realtor, that's how we met, but is that the one industry you love the most? Or if you could wave a magic wand, who would you really serve? Actually, let's just ask that. If you could
Sure.
wave a magic wand, what's your ideal client?
Um, I think the real estate and mortgage industry definitely have a piece of my heart where, it's hard to not fall in love with it just because it's so intricate. It can change from county to county, state to state, what the interest rates do, who's in administration. There's always a new challenge in order to overcome it and come up with a creative solution. So if I had to say like what my ideal client would be, working with somebody who, I guess there's two. One of them would be the newbies, people who are just getting in and they're starting to take their real estate or mortgage career really seriously and they're looking to expand. I love working with those kinds of clients because even though they don't have a marketing team or maybe they don't have a big budget, it's really great to give them resources to help them get onto the path of success, right? So it's fun to see how they expand and change over time. The other type of client that we work with a lot too are the legacy businesses. These are the ones that have been really established for years and years, and they have a really good foothold in their community. What I love when I work with those kinds of clients is usually that they need to modernize, that they've been doing the same thing over and over again and they've been really successful at it. But as like the world has been changing, how their end consumer has been changing or skewing younger, they're going to need to do those upgrades. And that's a fun challenge to help them modernize, but still keep the soul of who their brand was and how they've been established for so many years.
Yeah, because even in the talk that you gave when I met you, right? I think in the examples you were given, I mean, that makes sense to me. I'm like a 20-year corporate business girly. So, like, I actually understand all of the things. And I could see some of the people in the room who were like, oh, yeah. And then somebody sitting next to me said that they had wished they had known you a few months sooner because they had just hired somebody else to do a whole rebrand for them. And they could already tell just from that 25-minute presentation you gave that you would have been able to help them better. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. It's unfortunate that in this day and age, there's not really any kind of qualification on who you should hire as your marketing person, right? Like if you're in real estate, then you have to have a license. There has to be some kind of proof that you at least know the basics. Unfortunately, in this day and age, you can just watch a couple YouTube videos and call yourself a marketer. So it is a little sad, and that's where my heart breaks a lot too, where I try to give these talks and I try to give as much information out there. Like we have something called a brand audit. It's a quick quiz
Mm.
that you can take online. They'll tell you exactly what stage of brand you're in, and it will give you a 108-page playbook on how to actually grow to the next step. And I do those kinds of things because there's so many people out there who claim that they can get you more leads or they'll get you more listings and they'll make all these claims and you have no idea that you've been taken until after, the payment has been gone through and you have no results for it, right?
Yeah. Okay, well, can we put that link below in the show notes? Let's make sure that I have that link. You were saying that you're
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to always share as many resources as possible. And anyone can always reach out to me for a strategy call. This is completely complimentary. And essentially, for 45 minutes, I'll be your chief marketing or chief brand officer. And you can ask me any question that you need, regardless of whether or not we work together. My goal is just to help as many business owners as possible.
Yeah. Did a lot of people from the meeting take you up on that?
They did. Yeah. It's been a little crazy how many
Oh, good.
agents reached out afterwards and people who are affiliates too. It wasn't just agents reaching out because it is, everyone really needs brand and marketing these days. So
Yeah.
even just like a little question of what do I do with my LinkedIn? What do I do with my Facebook?
Okay, so what Jess means when she says affiliates in this case is like title people, escrow people, mortgage people, because this is like obviously affiliates, is also something totally different. But anyway, she's still staying in the box of real estate. Very interesting. So, like, I don't know, walk me through. I know you told us like what your ideal client is and like the various type of people. Are you based in Long Beach? Or
Yeah. Yeah. We are based in Long
cool.
Beach. I'm a Cal State Long Beach alum. So I just never really left.
I love that. I live right by Cal State Long. My kids are going to the 49er camp, actually.
Oh, no way. That's great.
Yeah, yeah. We live right here. So, but at the same time, you're just like me as a coach, right? You can work with any agent in any city, state. wherever because the principles are the same. Did you say you're licensed as a realtor too? No,
I'm
you didn't
not
say.
licensed,
Okay.
but my brother is.
Oh, cool.
So I've been involved and I've actually taken, it doesn't work anymore, but I did take my loan officer license, or I started taking the classes. So I do have that background and that information, but I would never claim to. I leave that to the experts who know what they're doing.
Yeah. So how can we help you win more clients?
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, I think it's just about getting the word out there, right? And that I try to practice what I preach in terms of building my own client list, using the examples and using the techniques that we implement on behalf of clients. And one of them is just sharing information on distribution channels like a podcast. So my recommendation would be, hey, if you want to help me out and help yourself out at the same time, take the audit, read the booklet, reach out for a strategy call, just because then I'll show you exactly how I got on this podcast and how to prepare for it, and then how to make sure that you're building the funnels in the back end so that it benefits your business. Because showing up on a podcast and then not having any kind of way to acquire all of those listeners, it's just great. It's awesome. You're getting visibility, but you're not being able to attribute or track it to how it
Mhm.
affects your bottom line. And that's really what's the most important thing for sure.
Okay. So you guys heard her, right? There's an audit, it's free. Then there's a booklet, that's also free. But the whole crux here is getting the booklet and actually doing something with it. And then not wasting Jess's time, but taking advantage of the fact that she offers these free strategy calls. So audit, booklet, and then the strategy call, because you'll be setting yourself up for way more success. And she can help you go that much further, that much faster, even in the realm of a free thing. But let's assume that somebody like wants to work with you. I don't want you to talk prices or anything like that, but like I'm assuming your services run the gamut from full service, like, hey, here's the strategy and let me implement it, to here's the strategy, you implement it, and maybe everything in between. Talk with us about both ends of like how you make offers.
Well, I think again, the first question someone needs to ask is, do I need a rebrand? Do I need a refresh? Or do I need to expand? And that's going to be a really good step for you to decide what's the next thing that you need to invest in as a business owner. So between rebrand and refresh, a rebrand means you either don't have an existing logo or an existing brand to work with. So you need to start with scratch, or maybe you have implemented something. Like a big thing I've been seeing a lot are people are generating logos via AI. The
Oh yeah, I was
problem,
going to ask you about that. Yeah.
yeah. So the problem with that is if you generate a logo with AI or with Canva, you don't own the copyright to that logo. So the minute that you try to trademark it, or if you're worried somebody's going to use a similar logo or try to use your name and for whatever reason, you have no legal recourse to protect yourself or your business. So an AI logo is like the biggest red flag I see first and foremost.
Okay, wait, pause here for a sec, because it's so much information. People are already lost at the fact, and I remember this happened at the meeting, and we're not talking about this right now, guys, because it's a rabbit hole, and that's not what Jess is here for. But this is why you hire somebody like Jess, or this is why you literally hire Jess, is because she just said a Canva made logo you're not the copyright owner on. And all of us in that meeting were like, what in the world? And so that is why, even so I write books, right? I'm producing my third book, and you recommend this book designer now because she's a real human. And also she's based in Serbia. So we're really helping her out by using her incredibly talented services. And I get so many clients that I help write books and or people on the interwebs when I'm asking for their feedback. And yes, I realize that's crazy, but like, right, we're generating interest on the post by asking for feedback. And people who are like using AI to redesign it, or my clients who like, why would you pay a little bit of money but X dollars to have this done when you could just use AI or Canva? And it's like, that book cover matters so much that that's what a logo is as well. So to the fact that I don't have a logo, We have one for a third-party page I created, and it's 100% AI, and I use it a little, but it's like for me, it's done is better than perfect. It allowed
Mhm.
me to launch, and when Mama gets some more listings, that is when I will, is right now I've got to keep the lights on in this house and all my clients know that, all my following knows that. But the reality is once we can actually keep the lights on for a few months in a row, then
Right.
we will start to invest in better infrastructure for this business like I have for my other, because it's so important. So I just didn't want you to that's huge. Do not,
Oh yeah.
yeah, go. Yeah, yeah.
No, it's, I'm so glad that you call it out because I don't want to demonize AI. I feel like
Yeah.
sometimes it becomes a really binary conversation. Either AI is like the world's best thing or it's going to like shut everything down. My opinion is a little bit more nuanced that like if you're just getting started, absolutely feel free to use a Canva or AI logo. I did that for myself in my own business when I first started, but don't stick to it if you're planning on scaling your business. If you're at that point where you're growing and you have all these, plans and you're implementing them, then you open up your business to risk if you still use that logo.
Right. So everybody listening, right? You all know, like I lost my job unexpectedly 3.5 years ago. That's why I started my business, my coaching and consulting business. And that thing has iterated so much. We tried to get a trademark even on this concept, say yes and figure it out, but it got declined because even though Nike just do it is super broad and general, like there was too much evidence against this even after a rebuttal. Nonetheless, I'm not trademarking the book or the cover or just like this. I was trying to trademark the slogan. But it's like you start, you grow, and then you figure out what's next. And like it's not stop, oh, just because the trademark got declined, I'm gonna stop creating say yes and figure it out content. No, I'm gonna keep iterating. And so that's then when 90 plus days ago, I decided to leverage my own real estate license and become a realtor. And so I partner with my ex-husband, who's my broker, and we have plans to like actually have like a massive local brokerage, right? But we had to launch and I needed my first listing. So it's like, where are you listening in the process? And that's why I teach just start, like literally, like pound the, I messaged Jess like a week ago. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I literally have been outside door knocking. That's not an excuse. I don't love it, but I know that that is what is necessary to get my business off the ground. One listing creates another listing, creates another listing. Now I'm going to come back to Jess and say, cool. A, I love that you're in Long Beach. B, let me help you grow your business by you helping me grow mine. Right? Like, but it's almost like doing the right things in the right order. I mean, unless you've got, I don't even know if she has tons of money, but unless you got tons of money to throw at the thing and then start the right way. So there's two
Yeah,
ways.
well, luckily you won't need tons of money. We have a brand new mini package that's meant for people who have gotten those first couple listings and now they're looking to kind of grow their pipeline. We do have something that's like a starter package all the way up to those legacy businesses who maybe do have a ton of money and they need something a little bit more formal because they're expanding regionally or nationally. Or maybe they're just trying to capture more market share, in which case it doesn't really matter. What I would say is if you're going to invest in brand, it's the long term play.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to say, hey, I need listings ASAP, I need to be able to measure my ROI within a quarter, don't invest in brand. That's not its purpose. And it's going to be just not wasted money in the sense that you won't get anything out of it, but it's not what your immediate goal is.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking to do that long-term growth, you're thinking a year, 2 years in advance, that's the point where you start thinking about brand all the way up to, hey, what's my plan for the next decade? And that's when those larger clients typically start working with us.
Yeah, because like imagine somebody like me, everyone's always like, what's your brokerage? And
Mhm.
in order to launch fast, it's we have so many LLCs, but like, oh God, it's like, the LLC that actually took off, Jess, was the
Yeah.
last one I filed. Oh, this one won't work either. and it's Kristin Gutierrez LL. I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars under that named LLC when I've had all these other LLCs. So when I said I need a broker, I asked my ex-husband, it's his name, Gerardo Gutierrez Broker, because we're doing things in the right order. The listings were more important than agreeing on a name. So the next step for me, he doesn't know this yet, is to decide if I'm going to become my own broker and still partner with him, but like just become my own broker. And then I need the name, and then I need the brand, because if I do that, by the time I have my broker's license, I'll have had several listings, and you know what I'm saying? So it is really like the right things in the right order, because imagine I've got banners hung up now locally. You can see it on Atherton. I'm handing out all these flyers, and it's literally just like I'm telling you, and I know you're like a queen of branding, but it's like everything's different. Like done is better than perfect. Like, let me just get my name out there. I was running ads in the Beachcomber too for a minute and writing articles, but that's because that's where I am. And mama needs to save money to make money. But there's a point soon where I'm like, I already know how big I'm going to get, even if it's just me, myself, and or my ex-husband. Like, so I need the full, I want you. So if I hire you, then I have a VA, and I've had other VAs and I have access to VAs, but like, I almost feel like I would want to hire the lift. So like, what's the strategy, and lift it, and then we could probably maintain it. So talk with me about like, start wrapping this thing up. What does like a full service client package look like? Let's go big.
So it starts with our foundations package, and that we have 4 different categories of that. So it works on any level of business, whether you're just starting out or maybe you're more established, but they all cover the same 3 steps, which is number 1, your strategy, because you have to start with a business plan and goal, and then have your brand strategy match it in order to get you to that goal. It's not the other way around. Otherwise, you're just doing creative art for the sake of art. It's not really helping or benefiting your business. So all 4 of those packages, regardless of what stage of business you're in, is going to start with strategy. Then we go into the design phase. That's where we actually build out your logos, your fonts, your colors, and we make sure to take into consideration all kinds of compliance issues. For example, a really big one could be that your color schemes are just not disability friendly. And so if your website alone, we just had a client not too long ago have a huge fine and a disability lawsuit against them because their new website didn't have colors that were friendly for anybody who couldn't access it. So there's things like that we take into consideration as well. And then once those design elements are finished, then it goes into the build, because your strategy document and your logo, if it lives on a file in a computer, it's not going to be beneficial to you. So bringing your brand to life with your email signature, your website, your social media, so that everything looks consistent and you can start building up that recognition, is the last piece of that foundations package. Now, once you're done with that, again, regardless of what stage of business you're in, the next phase that we can help you with is how do you grow from there? So we have clients who bring us on because they want to build an internal marketing or creative department. So we help them hire the right people. We build the infrastructure and the reporting metrics, so that way you can track and make sure that the investment you put into brand actually bears fruit and you can see it in real time. We have clients who say, Jess, you know what? I want to do executive thought leadership. I think we need to put our founder or the owner as the face of the company and really build them up. And then sometimes we have clients who say, hey, I want to do organic social media or employee advocacy programs and turn my employees into mini influencers. So that's where it gets a little bit more custom past the foundations phase. But really, from start to finish, we're here to help you with the strategy, how to build it out, and then what are the next steps, so that way you can take and grow, away from us. Because at this point, I don't want any business owner to have to feel like they're stuck working with me in order to get success. The
Mhm.
goal is to help you grow so you don't need me at all.
Cool. That is actually different than a lot of marketing agencies. I happen to know one of the best of the best of the best of the best of the best. Like she works with huge mega brands and she is tethered to their business for life. And that's her approach, right? And I know why she was telling me a year ago, like why that kind of came to be. And it all makes sense, right? But sell the company or die she's getting a cut no matter what, her and her business. And so the fact that you just sat there and said, I want to help you succeed so that you don't need me forever. I'm just calling out like how uniquely different and advantageous to the business owner that is. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Well, that's the point. Like I said, I come from a family of small business owners. So, like, it really touches my heart. And I mean this genuinely, where I know the struggles that you go through year after year being a business owner. So, I never want anyone to feel like crud, like I need Jess all the time. And then I can't spread, the
Right. Yeah.
awareness or love to other people. So my goal, and that's why I built the business this way, is that you won't need me after the end of it. And in fact, you'll continue to grow afterwards as well.
Fun. All right. I just want to be respectful of your time, but obviously you can tell like I love this topic because I think you know what it gives me. I always tell my clients and myself like you have to tether yourself to a why, the why that makes you cry, right? And it is really truly one way or another. This will be my first $1 million cash collected year. I've declared that, although I'm keep trying to keep the lights on, so it's always imbalanced. And then also like because I've hung around huge business owners, I'm like, how do I make $100 million impact? Not only to serve me and my family, but clearly to employ others, to serve the community, to really, really, really have an impact. And part of having goals and dreams and visions like that, right? And people that hang out in my orbit know like I love yachts. My best friend is the #1 yacht charter broker like basically in the world, you could say, because she works at the top agency. But it's like, how do we do that? How do we do that thing? And in order to do that thing, you have to treat what you do as a true business. And a huge part of that business is sales and marketing.
Yeah.
And so that is why I think knowing that somebody like Jess exists, take advantage of her free audit, get the download, even do the call, but I beg you do the call once you've done the audit and the booklet so that you're maximizing her time and yours. And then put her on your vision board so that when the timing is right, and she said you can, there's packages that are right for everybody. So she isn't somebody's charging $100,000 yet, maybe to do this work. She should hang out with me more. But you know what I'm saying? Like, put this concept of structuring and strategizing the business. Like, I love that you said there's a plan and then there's the branding and
Right.
then there's the execution of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, I think every good business owner has a vision and they have like this ostentatious goal that most people will be like, that's super crazy. Like, do the safe thing, stick with your job. Like, why are you trying to push boundaries? So, what I will say, it's like if you have a big goal for your career and a big goal for your business that you want to achieve, then you just need to have that vision and then find the right person to help you get there. And so, if I encourage you, if you're ever hiring a marketing person or a brand person, regardless if it's me or anybody else, just make sure that whoever you're talking to understands what your larger vision is and they're implementing things that are tactical and measurable to help you get there. If you have that combination, I would find it really shocking that you don't succeed.
Oh, mic drop. Okay, well, thank you so much for being here. I can't wait for everybody to be pouring into your inbox. And just want to say, have a great day. I can't wait to keep working with you.
Same, same. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you.